2017 has been a great year for Nintendo fans. We've seen the release of the most anticipated Nintendo console ever, the Nintendo Switch. And after several heart-crushing delays, Breath of the Wild, or what was first known as Zelda Wii U. If that wasn't enough, we'll be getting a long-awaited spiritual successor to Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine. Third parties are finally putting faith back into Nintendo, and on top of this, Nintendo confirmed a main series Pokemon game will finally be coming to a home console, and announced Metroid Prime 4 to look forward to. For those who don't remember, it's been well over a decade since Metroid Prime 3. But sadly, you'll be waiting until 2018 at the earliest for those last two. And with so many new games being announced and released every month, it could be a bit difficult to keep track of all of the games you should be paying attention to for releasing in 2017. So here are our top 10 Nintendo Switch games for 2017. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 on the PlayStation 2 is without a doubt my favorite fighting game ever. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 takes that to the next level. For the longest time, Dragon Ball Z games were telling the same story over and over with only improved graphics. Finally, with new movies and a new anime series out, we have new material, new stories, new characters, new locations, and anything else you could ask for a new Dragon Ball game. While being a Dragon Ball or anime fan would allow you to enjoy the game even more, it does a great job introducing new players to the world of Dragon Ball. It has one of the best single-player stories I've ever seen from any fighting game, and an even more impressive character customization and online service. Compared to the other fighting games on the Nintendo Switch, and even some on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is amazing. Even if you replace the Dragon Ball characters with new original characters, it is what any fighting game fan looks for in an immersive, fun, and addicting fighting game. Sonic Mania. The heart of Sonic games has always been in its fast-paced 2D platforming. The lack of success in recent Sonic games has come from Sega admitting that quality lacked because they couldn't find a good way to bring that 2D style that fans loved so much to the 3D world. This led to some fans of Sonic to create their own Sonic games, and they turned out so good that Sega decided to make the project official and funded the studio to finish the game. Sega even views the fan project as a true successor to Sonic 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, and CD, even though they already officially created Sonic 4. If that doesn't tell you how great the game is, you just need to play it for yourself, and at the low price of only $20, it's an easy buy for retro fans. Sonic Forces. A while back, Sega came out and literally admitted their recent games sucked, and apologized for it. This is something you would expect if a new president, CEO, or someone new was put in charge of the company. They come out, blame past failings on old management, and promise that moving forward, they will do better. Well, this wasn't the case. The same people in charge admitted to not putting a lot of effort into the previous games. However, they went on to say this was going to change, promising to make it up to the fans. One of the first games officially announced for the Switch, or the NX at the time, Sonic Forces has looked nothing short of amazing, bringing 3D Sonic back to the hearts of fans and allowing for your own custom character to be a part of the story. No longer will Sonic sport his new scarf and bad gameplay mechanics. While Sonic Forces isn't expected to be as great as Super Mario Odyssey, which is the Blue Blur's rival from the 90s, it is definitely a huge step in the right direction and adds a different element to the platforming genre. Skyrim. There is nothing I can say about Skyrim that you shouldn't already know. If you haven't already heard of it, think of it as a more mature Breath of the Wild, and that is why it quickly became the standard for Western RPG and adventure games. When it first released, it was a pretty demanding game, needing expensive gaming PCs to max out. Now we get that same experience on the go. It's honestly crazy to think this huge game that people sunk hundreds of hours into on their $1,000 PCs can now be played casually on the go. However, that's not all. If you pick it up for the Switch, you'll be getting bonus Zelda-themed items which include the Hylian Shield, Master Sword, and Link's outfit. On top of this, you'll also have the option to play with motion controls. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 takes everything you loved from the Wii U predecessor and builds on top of it. A new world, a new cast of characters, and a new story. Think of it how Final Fantasy IX is a completely different story than Final Fantasy X. This time, the open world RPG is built from the ground up on the more powerful Nintendo Switch, which means not only will the game be playable on the go, but the battle system, graphics, overworld, everything will have improvements. If you're a fan of RPGs or giant boss battles, this game is a must-play. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Mario plus Rabbids may seem like a goofy concept, and well, it is. But that is part of the charm. I'm not the biggest fan of Rabbids, but this game is still one of the best Mario games I've played. It takes the RPG elements of what you would expect from XCOM and Nintendo's own Fire Emblem and applies them to Mario. The gameplay, story, art style, everything about this game is the definition of fun, and because of the wacky and crazy characters you'll come across, you'll have moments that'll keep you laughing and smiling until the very end. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is honestly easy to overlook if you aren't aware of exactly how it's different. It isn't just Mario Kart 8 on the Switch, which would still be great. It adds in all of the previous DLC characters, tracks, and karts. Then on top of this, adds a few more brand new characters, a true battle mode, improved online play, and on top of a few other things, actually improves the graphics. Full 1080p at 60 frames per second. Now, graphics aren't the most important thing to me. Gameplay should always come first. But with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you're already getting an even better gameplay experience than the original, as well as the updated graphics. So as I said in my full review, which you can find in the description of this video, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is closer to what I would expect from Mario Kart 9, as opposed to just a port of the original. Splatoon 2. Splatoon was a huge success on the Wii U, which, considering the Wii U didn't sell that well, is a huge understatement. The game sold close to 5 million units. If this was on a console with 50 million units sold, that would still be impressive for a first-party game. But seeing as the Wii U only sold close to 15 million units, means that 1 out of every 3 owners had a copy of Splatoon. So for those wondering, Splatoon is a very unique take on the shooter genre. It isn't as violent as Call of Duty or Battlefield, but it doesn't need to be. It has just as much fun being itself and not following the trend. This is why when it went up against Call of Duty and Battlefield, as well as every other major shooter at the 2015 Game Awards, it took home the award. That's not all though. It took home a second award for Best Multiplayer Game. Quite a success for a brand new franchise. And now, with Splatoon 2, it takes everything that made the first game a huge success and just adds to it. Better graphics, better weapons and abilities, more creative stages, a much better single player campaign, a new horde mode, and the list goes on and on. The best part is, this time, it can be taken on the go. No longer are you tied to 2 separate screens. Splatoon has never felt better, and with a little luck, we'll see the characters pop up in the next Smash Bros. Mario Odyssey. Nintendo is on an amazing track record with true 3D Mario games. Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and now Super Mario Odyssey. And no, we're not counting the 2.5D game on the Wii U, though Super Mario 3D World was great as well. With Super Mario Odyssey, just as Nintendo broke the conventions of Zelda with Breath of the Wild, it seems they have done the same with Super Mario Odyssey. Odyssey is everything you want from a traditional 3D Mario game. All of your favorite enemies have returned, even some we haven't seen in over a decade, and they have introduced brand new gameplay mechanics. In Super Mario Odyssey, you can travel to different worlds with a new hat airship, including New Donk City, which looks like a bizarro version of New York. Retro fans will be pleased with a game mechanic taken from A Link Between Worlds, where you become a painting on a wall and play out segments of 8-bit style Mario levels. We have Cappy being this game's version of Ezlo from Minish Cap, except this time, he allows you to take control of other characters, leading you to have various different gameplay styles. It is also the very first main series 3D game to feature multiplayer. So, in the words of Nintendo, you can share the joy. Now it's time for a couple of honorable mentions, but first, I ask that you comment below. Let us know what your favorite games for the Nintendo Switch are, and what other top 10 lists you would like to see us make in the future. We're getting close to reaching our goal of 50,000 subscribers, so please, we ask you to help us out by subscribing, then click that notification button so you don't miss out when new videos like this go live. ARMS is a fantastic and unique fighting game. It's honestly some of the most fun I've had with my subscribers, and on Discord chats. But the Switch has so many amazing games in its first year that, as great as the game is, it just fell short of making this list. But that should never deter you from actually playing it. Again, it is a great, fun, and unique fighting game that everyone should try at least once. Shovel Knight. Unlike Sonic Mania, which is a classic franchise going back to its roots, Shovel Knight is a brand new game designed to capture everything you loved about 8-bit and 16-bit games. Think of it as Mega Man, Zelda, Mario, and a dash of Metroid all rolled into one brand new multiplayer throwback. With several DLC packs released, the gameplay mechanics can change and feel completely different with each character you use. Breath of the Wild. I have a full review of Breath of the Wild that goes a lot more in depth that you can find in the description and the top pinned comment. But to make it short, Breath of the Wild is without a doubt not just one of the best games released in 2017, but one of the best games ever released. This isn't just my opinion though, most gaming sites felt the same way. But to truly understand why it has raised the bar so high for the entire gaming industry, you simply need to experience it for yourself. With that said, the game is not perfect. It does have a few shortcomings, the most popular being the lack of traditional style dungeons. However, everything else about this game more than makes up for it. Having one of the largest open worlds from any game to freely explore, it holds absolutely nothing back. You are given everything you need to complete any obstacle within the game in the first few hours of gameplay. With a world so large, you may think it will become overwhelming. But it's the exact opposite. Breath of the Wild is designed in such a way that you will never feel lost. You will never come across an area that you can't reach or pass through because you haven't unlocked it or discovered a certain item yet. The only thing stopping you is your own mind. On top of this, Nintendo has specifically designed almost every puzzle to have multiple solutions of solving them. The same goes for all of the bosses. You no longer have to rely on a single weapon to fight a boss. If you run out of arrows, throw a spear, a bomb, or even a simple wooden stick. Nothing is off limits. Breath of the Wild is so amazing, it is truly a shame that those who don't own a Switch or a Wii U can't experience it. And it only makes me even more excited to see where the future of the franchise will go. With the experience and everything learned from Breath of the Wild, I'm beyond excited to see what Nintendo can do with the next Zelda game, especially considering it won't be held back by the limitations of the Wii U, and can be developed specifically for the Nintendo Switch. If you enjoy the videos on my channel, please consider subscribing, checking out my second channel focusing on movies and TV shows, and my Patreon where you can join in as a guest in upcoming videos, watch new videos first, you can have me join in and collaborate on videos for your own channel, have custom artwork or custom avatars made of yourself or for your channel, and much more.